Welcome to November at Gasper Cottage. November is when the grasses are the dominant glory in the whole garden. Seen here against a bright blue sky, the silvers and pale golds are just breathtaking. The movement, the way they catch the light, the way they contrast with the other seed heads, just the sheer delicacy. And they're at every size and scale, from little knee-high carexes to towering miscanthus. 5 delicate numbers, and I've got all sorts of things. There's still Deschampsia there, showing these little fluffy seed heads. And here the very light, delicate effect of the Stipa gigantea. Heavenly. It's also a time where actually the cottage itself starts to really be more of a feature. Most of the year I spend most of my life looking at the plants, but now you really start to notice the cottage. This morning, however, as you can see, we had our first proper frost, which has lingered all day in the shadows, which is probably going to mean this is the last of the salvias and the penstemons and the geraniums and all the lovely flowers that I've had, which are still clinging on. There's been a few asters still. Well, they're looking a bit tatty now, but they are heavenly. The roses don't seem to mind. They don't seem to mind the frost at all. Just looking glorious. That salvia's probably had its day, as they say, though. So the herbaceous areas of the garden are looking a bit all bedraggled and tired. But it is at this time when you really start to make the most of the seed heads and the remains of flowers. These hydrangeas are basically gone and dead and over, but they are still an absolutely glorious thing, as are those sedums and the Honesty Beyond. Really, really precious at this time of year, particularly when seen with the frost on them. Because it is the shapes and the sizes and the different delicacies that draws your attention, and you look at the little tiny details, the way the frost just catches every single little nibble, nobble, spiky bit, soft bit, whatever it is, on all the different plants. This was bright yellow earlier this season, but it's still just glorious. It is, of course, however, berry season. And these Cotoneaster on the wall, and it is, people refer to it as a car park plant, and this is indeed where we park the car. But that's glorious. You can't call that a car park plant, even though the wall is falling apart. But turning to the wider view and seen here with the willows by the bench, the willows, by the way, doing a great job of draining the ground there, your eye does just get drawn out to the view and past the trees, out to the colour in the wider landscape, past the pond. One day that little crabapple will be a dominant feature. Not yet. At the moment, we're just rejoicing in the pond and the light. It's also been quite fun because for the first time in ages, we've got sheep back in the field, which is a real treat to have them there. And they're good company in a bizarre way. So as you look across the dam, there you are, the sheep enjoying the field, enjoying the last of those autumn leaves. There's lots of them. They kind of come in a big mob. It's amazing how fast they eat the grass, but there they are, ornamenting the landscape. And isn't that just glorious? Still with the frost in the shadows, but the sunlight brings it all alive.